So recently we got this brand new trailer for DC, all the movies coming up this year: Black Adam, The Batman, Flash, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And we had this image in particular go kind of viral due to how people, Snyder fans and non-Snyder fans are wondering this about this Flash suit. And I'm going to tell you why I, as a Snyder fan, as a Zack Snyder fan, my favorite movie of all time is, in fact, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Why I, a Snyder fan, am excited for the brand new, Andy Muschietti, The Flash. Now, originally I was going to talk about the entire trailer as a whole, but the reason why I'm not is because I feel like I've already given you guys my opinion on all these films. I'm excited for The Batman. I'm excited for Aquaman. I'm excited for all these projects. But one I've yet to talk about is Flash. And I'm actually pretty excited for The Flash for many, many, many reasons. And let's actually get into the image right here. So we have this image of The Flash. And, the suit. Let's talk about the suit. Now, when we saw the teaser originally, I actually wasn't a fan of the design of the Flash suit in the teaser. But it does look very comic accurate. It looks a lot like the comics, and I'm a big fan of the Flash's character. And this so we've yet to get a single image or single image that really impressed me with the suit, because I love Zack Snyder's suit. But I look at this image right here. That helmet looks great. I like the yellow. The yellow looks badass. I think both iterations of the suit look impressive. But I like how it has glasses. Obviously, it makes sense because the wind goes into his eyes. But there's actually a lot of reasons why I'm excited for this film in general. But suit itself was the one thing I agree with most Snyder fans, and that is I'm not impressed with the suit at all, except when I saw this image. This image right here really got me on board with the Flash. It looks great. It looks stunning. I know a lot of people didn't like how this looks, but to me, this image right here looks like the Flash. I still prefer Zack Snyder's suit, but to me, in general, the suit really doesn't matter to me. That's just an add-on. That's just a cherry on top. But it is a nice addition. But I am going to tell you in general why I'm excited for the movie. Now, one of my favorite comic book storylines of all time is the Flashpoint comic book. And I've heard this movie is going to take massive inspiration from the Flashpoint comic book storyline, which to me is very, very interesting. I'm wondering, how are you going to do this in live action? And another reason why I'm excited is Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti did It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2. He's proved to me that he's a great director. And we're going to have to wait and see how he does with comic book genre. We're going to have to wait and see what he does with the comic book genre. But either way, I'm still excited to see what Andy Muschietti does with the character of the Flash. Another reason is Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller, I think he's been great. I think he was great in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He had one of my favorite scenes with the Speed Force scene. And even in the Joss Whedon version, you guys know I hate the Joss Whedon version, but even in that movie, I liked Ezra Miller's performance as the Flash. Even though I hate that movie, I like seeing every minute of Ezra Miller's Flash. And so, to me, it is finally time he gets his own movie. Something I've been waiting for since 2018. Just give me the Flash. And another reason is, it's the Flash. Look, my favorite comic book character of all time is the Batman. There's been characters like Superman I like more. There are other characters like Magneto, Spider-Man. There's a lot of comic book characters I prefer over the Flash. But I'd be lying if I told you that the concept of a Flash film didn't intrigue me. To me, a story about the Flash is always one I'm looking forward to. So just the fact that this movie is having the Flash in it excites me just alone, without any other. Even if it wasn't Ezra Miller, even if Andy Muschietti didn't come to direct this, either way, I'm excited for it just because it's the character of the Flash. I know there's a lot of controversy behind the scenes, or not really behind the scenes. It's more the toxic side of the Snyder fandom is constantly trying to boycott the film, even though we've yet to get a teaser trailer. I know the rumors of the Snyderverse potentially being erased in the Flash film. I honestly will tell you this right now. Take that with a grain of salt. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. But I do think that us fans, we need to realize we need to stop take a minute and process this. Things like this have come out wrong. And even if it comes out to be true, the main important thing is to make a good film. And for all we know, maybe this is good for the film. Maybe this is going to make the movie better, which I don't know how, but we'd have to wait till the movie comes out. But the Flashpoint story itself has been one that's always been a thought to my head. It's an emotional story of a kid who time travels to prevent the death of his mother. Because let's not deny this. Any of us in that position of the Flash, we'd all, if we had the chance to save our parents from death, we would have gone back in time to save our parents, including Bruce Wayne, who lost his parents when he was 8 years old. Now, yes, I was disappointed when we found out Jeffrey Dean Morgan wasn't going to come back to play Thomas Wayne. But Michael Keaton, now I'm not the biggest Batman 89 fan. I've said that before and I'll say it again. I like Batman 89, but it's not a movie I hold deep value to it. It's not a movie that I can, that I like sim for. I really don't care. But it's Michael Keaton, and I love Michael Keaton. I love him as Vulture in the MCU. I liked him in Birdman. I like him in a lot of stuff. Michael Keaton to me is a great actor, who to me, if he's in anything, I'm looking forward to it. To see him back as Batman, that in and of itself impresses me. And then you have this whole timeline stuff. Now, I'm somebody who, as much as I like multiversal stories, I mean, my channel's name is called Multiverse of Movies, by the way. As much as I like multiversal storylines, they do scare me at times, because sometimes multiversal storylines feel like they have no purpose, because all they do is erase timelines. All they do is confuse people. And even if somebody dies, they have the excuse to say, oh, timeline this, timeline that. But either way, I think the Flash movie is going to handle it perfectly. You already see the casting for Supergirl, Sasha Calle. You have Michael Shannon returning as General Zod. And we don't know what else is coming. I know a lot of people are worried that this movie is going to be, it's going to be Flash being the side character with all these other timeline versions, which I don't think so. First of all, they called this movie The Flash for a reason. And second of all, remember, people had this fear with Spider-Man No Way Home. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, Tom Holland Spider-Man's going to be sidelined because, you had Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx. You had all these actors returning. There's no way this movie is just a Tom Holland movie. And guess what? Look what they did. Look what John Watts did. Look what Kevin Feige did. And let's remember, right now we're hearing less characters than we did with Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's remember that. I feel like people are forgetting that, but we had a lot more reports for No Way Home's characters than we are for Flash. For Flash, it's just Michael Keaton's Batman, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, obviously Ezra Miller, and you have all these thoughts of Michael Shannon coming back, the lady who played Fiora L in Man of Steel, and the rest are just rumors. These are kind of like the confirmation parts, and I doubt that a Flash movie is going to... And even in that teaser. So that teaser was very small. I didn't really like the teaser because it didn't really show us anything besides... I really feel like DC Fandom 2020 showed us more than DC Fandom 2021. But when I saw the teaser, it seemed like they were really focusing on Flash, and you hardly even saw anything of Michael Keaton's Batman. We hardly saw it. And not only that, but we're seeing two different Barry Allens, which are both played by Ezra Miller. So I'm left kind of, wondering, why do people think it's not going to be a Flash movie? It clearly looks like a Flash movie. I understand the fear, but even with that being said, it feels like a Flash movie. Everything we've gone, which is very, very little, everything feels like a Flash movie. I mean, like a non-Flash movie, that he's going to be sidelined, which I don't see that happening, but I understand that fear. But the movie itself, I'm excited. I know, again, the controversy is this movie going to erase the Snyderverse timeline? Look, I love Zack Snyder's films. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Batman vs. Superman is a masterpiece. I love Man of Steel. I even like Zack Snyder movies that aren't DCU, Watchmen, 300, Army of the Dead. There's a lot of great Snyder flicks I really enjoy. The only one I really don't like is really What's that one? Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is really the only Zack Snyder film I don't like. But with that being said, at the end of the day, we have to understand that these are rumors coming from sources that aren't the most reliable. Grace Randolph. I don't mean to be that guy, but Grace Randolph has gotten things wrong in the past. But I do think these rumors are true because it seemed like for the last, I don't know why people sound so surprised, but for many years, all I've heard is this Flash movie is going to reboot or going to softly reboot the DCEU and kind of erase Zack Snyder's part of it. Which I don't entirely know what are they going to do. Again, I'm not a scooper or anything, but I do think you have to, even though we love these Zack Snyder movies, I do think you got to judge this film on its own merit. If the movie's bad, hey man, it's bad. But if it's good, it's good. And I don't think the whole Snyderverse timeline erasing stuff is going to change anything. To me, I don't think it's going to change how good or how bad it is. It's just going to affect that part, and then that's it. I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, these Snyder flicks, they're going to continue or not. And if you're not going to continue with these Snyder movies, my recommendation is just erase that timeline. And then try to make the best movies possible. Because at the end of the day, the main important thing is, are these movies good? That is the main important thing. It's not about what timeline is it, what franchise is it. At the end of the day, just make a good movie. Look at Logan. Logan ignored everything from its own timeline, and guess what? It became its own great movie, and a lot of people consider it one of the greatest comic book films of all time. Same thing with Joker. Batman is getting a great reception. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what franchise it is. Just make a good film. And if The Flash does that, then guess what? We all win. And if they happen to raise the Snyderverse, then the Snyderverse was going to continue either way or not. It wasn't going to continue if this movie erased it. So you might as well just continue and just make the best movies possible. And I've heard this, this idea that everything has to be connected in order to be a good film, which to me is a big lie. It's a big lie. And I'm sorry, but it's a big lie. To me, just make good films. Because at the end of the day, the only way you gain the audience's trust is making good films. Look at the MCU. The MCU had a lot of films that fans loved. And guess what? Look at the position they are in. They're in a position where almost all their movies are estimated to make $1 billion in the box office, which is something only really Star Wars can do. Every other franchise can't do that besides maybe Star Wars, and that's just a big maybe. But the MCU has put itself in a position because they didn't focus on, timeline this, timeline that. What they did was they made a good movie after a good movie after a good movie, and then eventually they teamed up. Just make good movies. That is it. Although that is difficult on itself. But to me, I'm excited for The Flash because the story itself, it's taken inspiration from The Flash, the Flashpoint. It's taken inspiration of that. You have Andy Muschietti. You have Ezra Miller coming in. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. And to me, Flash stories tend to be some of the most emotional ones. He's not my favorite character, but he is a character that excites me every time I hear about him. There are some worries I have. Obviously, I have some worries for the Flash movie. One of the worries is this movie was due since 2018. We've had many directors. In fact, the last director before before Andy Muschietti, I cannot remember what the director's name is, but I believe they said something like they were fired because Ezra Miller didn't like the script and the studio chose Ezra Miller. That does scare me. That part does scare me, if it is true, which I can't confirm nor deny that. I mean, I don't know how I can deny it if I don't even know if I know it, but that does worry me. This movie should have came out in 2018. That's when it was planned. It's had many directors. At one point, they even tried getting Ezra Miller to write the script, which to me, that's a little embarrassing for a studio. A lot of stuff has changed because I'm sure the first ever stage of this movie is obviously not what it's ending up to be right now. So there are some worries I have about it. Those are really the only worries I have. The suit itself, what you see right here, the suit itself, again, I really want to see a full finished VFX shot because I do feel like that was kind of unfinished VFX we saw at DC Fandom, which regardless, that suit didn't look all that great, but in this shot right here, and we're only talking about this shot, it looks pretty good. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have a fantastic, great, wonderful rest of the day. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.